Hey everybody, today I'm playing Chivalry 2, and in this video I'm going to attempt to use every single weapon in the game, and I will talk about it, and I won't play like that, hopefully. Anybody who's been paying attention to my streams would know that I have been getting a little bit fed up with this game. And there is a chance that I may... Well, that's unlucky. There is a chance that I will, maybe quit playing this game, to be honest. The amount of not getting fixed going on with this game is a little bit insane. But I don't want to end on a bad note. I'd like to end on a more positive note. This isn't a news video, and I'm not going to be negative in this. Well, not too much. But I will be playing a lot of other games going forward. And I hope you guys will stick around for variety rather than this. You know, even if you don't like the look of a game at first, maybe if you give it a chance, you will. One of my favorite games, Exanima. I'm planning on making a video on that game. I love Exanima. Sorry, console players. You will probably never play it. But enough about that. Let's focus on Battle Axe. Battle Axe is one of my favorite weapons in the whole game. This weapon's great. Now, if I can actually hit somebody with it, I might be able to show off why it's so great. I cannot believe that. I don't play Vanguard a whole lot lately. I think with how inconsistent the servers are lately, you tend to get hit a lot more on Vanguard, and Vanguard is just squishier. I remember back a long time ago, I used to think Vanguard was a lot better than the other classes, but now with the servers how they are, I really don't enjoy Vanguard that much anymore. Is this guy a gamer? He was a gamer. That guy was doing pretty good counters. Fucking ow. A lot of people say things like, oh, I think the Battle Axe is a worse version of the war. Isn't it the same as the Waraxe, but like shorter? No. Battle Axe hits with a certain level of damage that just makes it go from... I mean, the Waraxe is pretty good damage, but this thing does great damage. You only get 5 more damage on attacks on average, with the exception of special attack, which does 10 more damage. So the Waraxe special does 90, this does 100. And then, you know, like instead of having a 50 damage slash, it does 55. Instead of 75 heavy, it does... Instead of 70 damage heavy on Waraxe, this does 75. And those, like, that 5 damage goes a long way to making the weapon feel a lot stronger. And it adds to the stamina damage you're doing. And all of it just suddenly turned into way more damage. Hell, even the stab on Battle Axe is pretty nasty. Also, if you're wondering about the health bar, I have purchased an ultra-wide monitor a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago, and the health bar is actually the UI element moving into place. This actually happens live when I'm streaming this game. Let's see if I pause the game, kind of moves off to the side and then moves back. It's a bit weird, but when it's in gameplay, you really wouldn't notice it that much aside from a small couple little things. The ultra-wide's really fun to play on, though. Ooh. Let's switch it up to the Warclub. Warclub, not a weapon I enjoy really at all, but a lot of people like it. And while I don't think it's very good in a competitive setting either, a lot of competitive players have actually taken a liking to it. And I think there's some value to it, but I just don't fucking like it. What? And don't get me wrong, it's not awful. I don't think there's many weapons in this game that are awful. In fact, I'll put my tier list on screen right this second. Like, I think everything is pretty much usable except for some of the really like stinker weapons. Because for the most part, how good you're doing is going to depend. It's not going to depend on what is this guy doing? He's having a fun time. What determines if you're winning or losing is generally not going to be the weapon you have. It's going to be the matchup with the weapon you're fighting, or how you're playing. You know, there is such thing as a bad matchup. The Morningstar and Mace are really good, but when you fight, say, oh, I don't know, a spear or a halberd or weapons that are really long, you can really take the reach advantage can really kill you. Same thing with weapons that are even shorter. I actually think the Warhammer and the Rapier, I think the Rapier absolutely destroys the Warhammer because the Warhammer just doesn't have enough reach to catch the Man-at-Arms player. And Knight is very slow, and Man-at-Arms is very fast. Warhammer is actually, I think, the shortest conventional one-hander. Like, Warhammer is shorter than all these weapons. The axe and the short sword. Oh, wait. Oh, fuck. You can't see it. Yeah, Warhammer is actually shorter than all of these weapons that Man-at-Arms has. It's shorter than the axe. It's shorter than the short sword. It's shorter than the mace. It's shorter than, you know, all of it. It's the only thing it's not shorter than is the hatchet. Out of all these weapons that you can pick from. Yeah, this weapon, not my favorite ever. It's certainly all right. Like, I think any weapon that you use the advantages of will be good. If you really like the speed and the range of this thing and you don't really mind the damage part of it, then I think it's going to be really nice. I'm sorry. That guy is having a bad time. Bonk. Ow. My health bar is injured. I mean, it works. One nice thing about the damage of the Warclub, unlike the Glaive, is that while I don't think it's super great at it, you can two-shot a knight and a footman with heavy overheads. It does 60 blunt damage, which is just enough to do 90 to a knight. Being able to two-shot a knight, no, it's 81. Being able to two-shot a knight is, what is this guy up to? What is he up to? Hold on, I'm gonna follow him. Where is bro going? He's dead. His foot. He'll never run again. This lobby's goofy. Where is all the fighting happening? You know, I actually get a surprising amount of comments that are that tell me, "Oh, gross, for third-person player." In which case, you know, I understand you like first-person better, but it is a straight disadvantage. And I'm also actually more fortunate where I can play in first-person pretty comfortably because I have my my ultra-wide monitor. But you guys who, like, I remember what it's like to play in first person on a non-ultra-wide monitor. It's miserable. And, you know, I used to only play first person, but I started to value not getting hit by somebody I didn't see over the slight immersion I would get. Because, you know, it really is, it is more immersive to see the game like this. And there's nothing wrong with playing in first person either. If you like it, play it. But I think it's a bit silly to act like somebody's better than... how do I put it? It's silly to act like you're better because you play in a different camera mode. I mean, it's a camera mode. You know, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Anyway, I'm going to play Executioner Axe now. This is another favorite weapon of people's, but for me, it's also a weapon I don't really like that much. It's okay, though. I'd play it over the Warclub. This weapon has a huge advantage in its... I think it's the longest weapon with this animation set of, like, you know, the Battle Axe, Waraxe, Warclub. Like, all the axes and clubs and stuff use this animation set. And this is the longest weapon with that animation set. And it has really slow releases. Releases that period of time where your weapon is hanging in the air, able to do damage. Like, a weapon that's really fast is going to not be in the air very long. But a weapon that's really slow is going to hang in the air for a lot longer, and it's going to travel a lot slower. That is an advantage and a disadvantage, because sometimes it means you won't hit somebody in time. Other times it means that you can really make your swings just take forever to land. Like that. Executioner Axe also has a really high damage heavy slash for how long it is and how good it is. But I'm going to be honest, this weapon I feel don't really has... I feel like this weapon doesn't really have too much of a purpose. Mainly because the overhead heavy only does 70 damage. Did you know the Dane Axe actually does the same damage as Executioner Axe or more damage on every single attack? There's no attack on Executioner Axe that does more damage than the Dane Axe. It either ties or does worse. Sorry, AFK guy. Lucky me? Not that the overhead is bad. Here's a little fun tip about all the weapons that use this animation set. Doing a riposte alternate overhead gives you a really fast overhead excel. So if I block this and I overhead from the right side, not the left, it comes out much faster. This works on the Maul, it works on Battle Axe, Executioner Axe, all of them. I don't know why it works like that. And on some weapons it's more noticeable than others, but Executioner Axe really enjoys doing that. Same with the Maul. The Maul also really enjoys it. And you know what? I really like that this game has weapons that some people prefer and other people's don't. Why did I say people's? I've said people's twice today. I never say people's. That other people prefer. Don't light me on fire. That worked pretty well. Oh, no. That guy's going to target me for the rest of his life. When an archer knows how to use melee attacks with the bow, I generally have to play even safer, which is unfortunate because when you're trying to fight an archer, you are on a time limit. Oh, and this is a good PSA for anybody playing on PC. I was having really bad performance after the update dropped for this game. The last hotfix, the one that apparently fixed the stuttering. And it turned off DX12. And I was playing in DX11 for some reason. Now, I would say for most people lately, DX12 is going to run way better than DX11. And I was really not enjoying the game up until I had a nice person from Torn Banner come by and ask me if I was playing on DX12. Now, I've been playing on DX12 for like a year and a half. I never turned that shit off. But apparently it got turned off. So just to keep note. Okay. Ow. And you know what? Here's a good opportunity to play the Morningstar. Morningstar and Mace are the exact same weapon. Just to warn you. There's basically no difference between them. They have the same speed, same range, same damage, except for one attack. And that attack is if you're playing Man-at-Arms, specifically Man-at-Arms, and you do the sprint attack, the Morningstar will do 5 more damage than the Mace. There's actually no other difference. That said, they're both very good. Some people think that they're upwards to one of the best one-handers in the whole game. I don't think that. But there's no denying how good it is. It does a lot of damage. It's fast. It's got pretty good reach for a one-hander. It's on the higher end. Not the longest, but long enough. And more important than that, has one of the best special attacks in the whole game. Ow. That said, I prefer the look of the flanged mace. I think a flanged mace looks really nice. I don't know why. I've always just been attracted to it. I think it's because, unlike the Morningstar, I feel like the flanged mace is a very refined weapon for brutalizing somebody. You know, it's got that sort of elegance to it, where it's like, this is a very well-engineered, non-barbaric weapon to be used in a barbaric fashion. And if you are somebody who enjoys the Mace and Morningstar, one thing, I recommend not mashing very much with this weapon. I feel like it's a bad idea. And also, the stab is actually really good on this thing. Better than you might think. It doesn't have the most damage, but, well, it doesn't fucking need it. Ooh. Ow! Well, fine. I'm gonna blow my fucking whistle. Oh. Ooh, a banner. I love banners. I did not mean to do that overhead. That was late. But you know what? We take those. Some people also ask, why do I switch between first person and third person? Which I have it bound to a mouse button, which makes it very easy to do. Sorry, console players, you don't get that ability because you can't rebind your controls. What a shame. It's because third person is better than first person. It just is. But sometimes I prefer the precision and camera placement of first person over third. And when my brain says I'd rather see in the other mode, which I don't even have a conscious thought to it. It's just automatic. I'll just swap. I think it's pretty cool to play in a hybrid like that, because then I get some of the advantages of first person and some of the advantages of third. The Mace, I feel, is extremely good because of it's usually a secondary option. Now, being that it's just as good as the Morningstar, which is a primary, it immediately starts overshadowing all of the other, what would you say? All of the other secondary options that you likely have. Here's a great way to show what I mean. If you have the option of the sword, the axe, and the mace, these are all very good options. But then, like, let's go to Man-at-Arms. You have the option of knife, axe, short sword, and mace. And, I mean, you can make a case for the axe, but the mace definitely overshadows the other two. And it's not really close, either. If you're going to play Skirmisher, you have the option of Falchion, axe, mace. I mean, that's really good. When you're playing Guardian, you have the option of Hatchet, short sword, mace. I mean, the mace is that's a clear winner. So if you ever have the options of these weapons, then it's like, it's very obvious which one's the best. But enough about the mace. Let's go on to the next weapon, Greatsword. I love this skin. Even when I had the pre-orders Wyhander skin on my Epic Game Store account, I now play on Steam, I really enjoyed this skin more. There's something more grounded about it. And I mean, this weapon already looks nice. You don't really need the gold of the pre-order Zweihander, right? Like, this weapon looks fancy already. Here's some fun facts about the Greatsword. The stab on the left side is longer than the stab on the right side. The overhead on the left side is longer than the overhead on the right side. The slash on the right side is a lot longer than the slash on the left side. So for me, I try to transition. The overheads are kind of negligible. You don't have to do the overhead on the left side. It's not that important. But for the stabs, I try to never do the stab on the... I try to never do the stab on the right, and I try to never do the slash on the left. So I will often transition a left stab to a right slash into an overhead. That one I made a mistake. But I mean, the attacks aren't bad enough to not use them. It's just, you know, I try to use the attacks that are better than others if I can. Important note about Greatsword. Greatsword used to not be available on... It is now, but it used to only be available on Vanguard. And I think it was the Aberfell update. The Aberfell update is what added in the Highland Sword. And with that, they put Greatsword on Knight as well. Now, in my personal opinion, I think Greatsword Knight's a little bit strong. I don't think they should have done that. But, you know. Hold on, I'm gonna activate my stealth camouflage really quick, and we'll see if any of these Masons have their thermal goggles on. Don't worry, their vision is based on movement. Oh look, there's a Greatsword. Fun fact about peasants, they have the same dodge bonus as Man-at-Arms, which means that their dodge cooldown is actually shorter. Here's another fun fact. They nerfed peasants in the new Bridgetown map. Peasants on this map, for example, have about 100 stamina and about 75 health. Peasants on Bridgetown have 70 health and about 20 stamina, which means when you block a single attack, you basically have already run out of stamina and die. Why did they nerf peasants? I don't know. That's a really silly thing to do, I think, but, you know, it ain't my choice. That'll do. Oh, I got unlucky. Oh, that's unfortunate. Active parry has betrayed me once again. Here's a tip for Greatsword. When you do the special attack with Greatsword, it's very easy to accidentally look down and hit the ground. Which doesn't happen on all terrain, but like if I was to do the special attack right here. Here, let's try here. If I was to do the special attack right here. No? Right there, I hit the ground. Which would have stopped me from hitting somebody. That's a problem, so I tend to look up whenever I do the special attack. Go, go, go! Did he? Ow. Ow. Man, I fucking hate projectiles. That's okay. Ooh, I mistimed that really bad. Oh, it's an archer. God is my witness. If he wants me to kill this archer, I will. I'm glad that they can shoot me from a desertion zone. I think that's a really cool design thing that this game does. Retreat or kill more archers. Oh, he's got overheal. But Greatsword's really good at killing archers because it one-shots them. Oh yeah, does it? You know, I've got a doctor's appointment I really gotta get to. Kill! Oh, this is just unfortunate. That's a teammate fire pot. Oh, well. Sometimes an arrow and a friendly fire pot will do that. Now we're going to use the Maul. The Maul is probably the best ambusher weapon. No, I didn't misspeak. There really isn't a better weapon to backstab somebody with than the Maul. It does so much damage, and you get none of the downsides of playing ambusher with a tiny one-hander. Some people think that slow weapons are a disadvantage. They are not. Slow weapons can be a disadvantage depending on the scenario you put them in, but one would argue that slow weapons are not. Well, that is just unfortunate. And you... Yeah, of course he gambled a fucking stab. He's using the messer. Of course, why wouldn't he? I might not make it. Yeah, there was really nothing I could have done. If I had stayed to fight, like block that guy, I would have just gotten hit, and I would have gotten locked into the desertion zone. Here's another fun fact: you can actually block and then do a special attack, and it will come out slower, which you wouldn't really often find use for. But there are some advantages where that's really useful. Man, I have got some really poor luck. Oh, bear trap. I was getting that guy. I think Aberfell and Coxwell are probably the two worst maps in this game. But I definitely prefer Coxwell over Aberfell, but that's not to say that I enjoy Coxwell very much either. I kind of like the areas to fight in, but these objectives are some of the worst, and it's so... Unless you've got a really good team, offense is almost always going to win. Especially if you're not playing with a group of friends. Alright. Guess that can go through my block, that's fine. Alright, this guy knows how to play, so I'm going to have to play well. And the unfortunate thing about fighting somebody who knows how to play is it's kind of on a time limit before somebody who doesn't know what they're doing runs up and starts mashing the attack button at you. That's okay. Just going to take a band-aid break. Oh, thank you, Chucky. When you're using a hit stop weapon, there are some advantages that you get that non-hit stop weapons don't get. For example, if you do a light attack and you get hit stop on it and combo it to another light attack, that doesn't cost any stamina. Furthermore, when you do a light attack and you hit it, you can actually follow it up with a heavy attack, and the heavy attack will kind of hit them faster. Not really, but the reason why is because you're canceling the rest of your swing, so you can start the heavy attack faster like that. That was actually a perfect example. It's like pseudo faster because whenever somebody gets hit, they have like a stun animation. And here's another Maul tip. Light attacks on this weapon are really good. Okay, I just swung through that guy that time. I definitely saw that I did. That's okay. This game kind of doesn't want to work lately. That's what we deal with it, or we play something else. Why did you do that? Here's my question for anybody who's using the Maul. Why would I need to do a heavy attack when I can two-shot a knight from full health with 2 overheads? Light overheads. They don't have to be heavy. Just do 2 lights. Overhead, they're dead. And it comes out pretty quick. It ain't slow. Overhead. Overhead. He's dead. 180 damage, just like that. Right now, I'm going to slow down my special attack so I can get a little bit more distance. Right there, I blocked before I did my special attack, which made it take just a little bit longer. And right there, here's another fun fact. The Maul special attack does the most stamina damage, or actually most damage in the game. It does 120, and it's blunt, so it gets a 25% stamina boost. Stamina damage can be calculated by taking the base damage of a weapon and multiplying that by 0.3, which is 30%. So this weapon does 120 base damage. You times that by 0.3, and then add on 25% extra, and it does, I think, 45 stamina damage. 45 stamina damage is not only a lot, but archers actually only have 50 stamina, unless they're playing skirmisher. So more often than not, you're probably gonna break an archer's guard in one Maul special attack. And just to be clear, axes get a 10% stamina bonus, just if you were curious about that as well. And just like before, the Maul uses the same animations as the Executioner Axe, which means that it takes advantage of the alt overhead riposte that I mentioned. Oh, he won. How'd we do that? I guess they weren't doing the objective. Well, that's alright. I'm happy to get off of this map. So now that I played as the Coxwell Peasant, now I can play as this Peasant. Now, if you look closely at my stamina bar, I can't even really block an attack. In fact, why don't I show you just how bad it is to play as a Peasant on this map. So not only do you get less stamina, you still get the dodge bonus. You get less stamina, less health, but here, just like, look at me block this attack. There goes my entire stamina bar. Ah, shit. I guess I should have had more stamina. Luckily, I got a little... Oh, I was going to throw the bottle. Couldn't do it in time. And next up is the Highland Sword. I made a whole video on this weapon not too long ago. It's pretty good. I like it. It's fun. It's much better than people say it is. It's just a little bit tricky to use. And tricky does not mean bad. Unfortunately, though, this archer is going to make my life miserable, and there's nothing I can really do about it, because archers are in a perpetual state of having help. Just one of those things. It's okay. He left himself open. That was unfortunate. Oh, that was also unfortunate. Should have landed that, but I guess I didn't accelerate it fast enough. One thing I really don't like about healing in this game is, like, I did the bandage animation about 10 seconds ago, and I still don't have my health back. And if anybody hits me, I'm going to just get my healing interrupted. Oh, I hit him in the leg, so it didn't count. Did I just hit the ground through him? No, probably not. I mean, this weapon's pretty good. People say it's a worse greatsword, and I think that's totally not right. Now, is this weapon better than Greatsword? No, this weapon is worse than Greatsword, but it's not a worse Greatsword. It is its own thing. You know, it's like saying that the mace and one-handed sword. It's like saying that the mace is better than the one-handed sword. And like, yeah, you can make a case for that, but that doesn't mean the mace is a worse version of the one-handed sword. They're two different weapons. The only real similar thing they have is that they're both swords. I feel that they have different use cases. Well, fuck. One advantage of Highland Sword is just how slow it is. Being so slow, while it can be a disadvantage, of course, it's also an advantage. I think this weapon actually has some of the best stamina of any weapon, simply because if I was to swing in the air like this, it takes so long for my attacks to come out that I'm actually gaining stamina the entire swing, even though it's really slow. So when you're like having a really like intense fight with somebody, as long as you keep slowing down your attacks and not getting interrupted, you're just getting constant stamina back. And meanwhile, they have to hold their block up, or they're getting risk of you speeding your attack up. And that means that they're eating more stamina damage on average, and you are gaining more stamina on average. Right there, I slowed down my attack so far, and he didn't know what to do. Overall, very good weapon. Next up, everybody's favorite, Dane Axe. I like being able to do 125 damage to a guy by pressing the G button on my keyboard. I love that this weapon does more damage than Executioner Axe with every single attack. This weapon's not overpowered, but it's definitely overtuned. This is one of those weapons that's just way too good for some reason. And the special attack, I think I'm going to cause a lot of problems by letting people know this. The Dane Axe has one of the most insane special attacks in the whole game. And nobody uses it because they just don't know. Because Dane Axe users only know how to slash and throw. And I mean, the throw is free. It's free damage. And it's a lot of free damage. It's not nothing. By the way, kick into throw is a true combo, if you don't miss it. And I'm just going to mash, and I get away with it. Ah, unlucky. I don't enjoy this weapon really at all for a couple reasons. One, it's overtuned and it's way too fucking easy. I mean, the stab on this thing does 40 and 60 damage. Like, this thing can do 75 damage to a knight with its stab. Now, I don't know about you, but this weapon doesn't look like it's very good at stabbing. And not only that, but it lacks a lot of the things that I value in a weapon to make use of. It doesn't have very good reach. Well, I mean, its reach is it's better than it should be, but its reach isn't amazing, so I can't do a lot of spacing with it. It doesn't have a lot of like speed variation, so it makes it kind of difficult to do mix-ups at a higher level. This person, I know who they are. They keep trying to get me. It lacks a lot of the tools that I feel weapons need at a higher level. Not to say it's bad at a high level, but it is definitely one of those almost brainless, just do attacks with. And then, you know, if you're ever not doing that, just throw it. Is no offense to anybody who likes it. If you like this weapon, that's great. I think this weapon's for chumps. I think this thing might as well look like 2 pairs of crutches. I find it to be incredibly boring, and the only joy I can derive of it is throwing it at somebody and doing a billion damage and going, man, that's stupid, and then I move on. You just keep throwing it. Just keep throwing it. Just keep throwing the Dane Axes. His shield didn't help him. Ah. Did I get team killed? Just keep throwing them. Oh no. I burned to death. Now it's time for another boring weapon. The Messer. Another fan favorite of people who tend to like the Dane Axe. This weapon is also overtuned, but the difference is this one's actually good at high levels. It's basically the Greatsword, but slightly better, which is unfortunate. It does more slash damage than Highland Sword and Greatsword. It has one of the best stabs in the game, but it won't save you from a Warbow, I guess. That's true. That is a factor. If you're ever having trouble with this weapon, you can just stab with it. Sometimes when you get hit, you can just follow it up with a stab and you'll just get away with it. Apparently there's an edge on that rock that I can't go over. Good thing this thing does 70 with a light overhead. Just like Greatsword. A faster, easier to use Greatsword with a better stab. And not only that, but Greatsword has these very vertical overheads that come basically straight down. The Messer has these really awful diagonal overheads that make it very hard to, like, read sometimes. Same with the Longsword. They are the only two weapons that have that. And I really have to wonder, why did they do that? I mean, this weapon is... I wouldn't say it's as easy to use as the Dane Axe or Longsword, but it is. It's definitely easy. Ah, no active fairy. Ah, no. My counter missed after I got no active fairy. I did everything right, but the game said no. I don't know why they made this weapon so good. I don't know why these weapons are always so good in melee games. But they are. I mean, if I really want to make a point, I can just use the stab and show how good the stab alone is. Right there, I just threw out a stab. I gambled it. Didn't matter because it's so fast and so long and hits instantly that there's basically no chance. Right there, got hit. Just stab. Just stab. Can I get that archer? Oh. Well, I did, but he got hit by something else. This poor guy didn't get revived. He didn't deserve that. Yeah, you can just stab with it. It's that easy. You don't even have to use the good attacks. You can just stab. Well, I say the good attacks. Everything about the Messer is good. That's part of the why it's so. That's why it's fucking. That's why it's in S tier all the time. That's why it's the best dueling weapon, because it has no downsides. Greatsword is a classier, more fun version of this weapon. And there's some advantages to using Greatsword over the Messer, but Greatsword has downsides, and this doesn't really have downsides. This is a jack of all trades, master of some, because it's, you know, again, it also does more damage than the Greatsword sometimes, and Highland Sword. Why? I don't know. I think I've made my point. I think I've made my point about the Messer Stab. It doesn't matter how much damage this thing does, because until they change the animation or they make its speed like worse, it's never gonna, well, it's never gonna be worse. Next up is another weapon I think is boring, the two-handed hammer, but for a different reason. This thing has no standout characteristics whatsoever. It is a worse version of the heavy mace in every single way, but the only real difference is that the I mean, I don't know. This weapon is like so redundant. It doesn't matter. It's just worse. But like being a worse heavy mace is like saying that I'm a worse version of a really good weapon. Like it's still good. You can still just kill people with it. It has absolutely no issues doing that. It's just kind of formless. Some people like this weapon better because it looks better or whatever, and I mean that's fine. You can do that. Guy threw his Dane Axe at me and he took out his Messer, just like I was saying. And here's the Messer Knight. Ah. Couldn't do much about that. And he follows it up with 2 Messer Stabs. It's almost like everything I said was true. Unfortunate timing on that. He's Messer stabbing. I countered, but I got really unlucky and the game said no. Yeah, I couldn't get my weapon back. Why are you upset with Chivalry 2? What problems do you think this game has? It doesn't fucking work. I counter, and it says I counter, and then I die. Yeah, if you want to play, like, Knight, there's basically no reason to pick this weapon over the heavy mace. Like, this it really is just a worse version of another weapon. In fact, there's really no reason to pick the two-handed hammer anyway, unless you feel like playing Raider. If you feel like playing Raider and you want a blunt weapon for some reason, and you're not just going to use the Dane Axe and Messer like everybody else, then you've got that going for you, I guess. Like, there's not even anything to really talk about with this weapon. It's like, there's nothing to it. It doesn't do anything. Next up is the Glaive. Now, Glaive is a weird weapon because in some ways it's really good, and then in other ways it's not very good. It has a lot of unique issues. And a lot of people also think this weapon is better on Raider, and that you should never take it on Polehammer, which I don't think that's true, because Polehammer not only gets a little bit more health and a couple other things, but you also get the advantage of your sprint attack. Now, here's a fun fact that a lot of people don't know, and they don't know it because the stat screen is wrong, but the Glaive is actually the second longest weapon in the whole game, right behind the two-handed spear. Oh, shit. And it's noticeably longer than Halberd, believe it or not. That combined with its intense speed makes it quite alright. But then it also does really bad in one-on-one fights unless you're landing mix-ups. The problem with this weapon is mainly that the stamina damage on it is so bad, and like attacks like the slash do so little damage, that it's often just not really that good. In a duel, you really can't get ahead at all. But in an environment like this, where you've got lots of teammates and stuff, this weapon can be a huge advantage just because of how long it is and how it can hit everybody. And since they buffed the... since they changed the takedown requirements to be 25 damage instead of 50, you can get a lot more takedowns with this thing. Basically, you hit anybody with this weapon and you get a takedown. Maybe not if you hit a Vanguard in the legs with a slash, which does like 24 damage or some shit. I don't know. Well, I can actually just check. Nah, I didn't hit him in the legs. Most Dane Axe users don't know how to counter attacks. You can just overhead them and or stab them and they'll probably die. No offense to Aldrin, the guy that was just using the Dane Axe there, but that guy has only ever played Dane Axe. He's been playing for a long time, and I mean, I think Dane Axe is poison for your ability to learn this game. If you pick Dane Axe, you're not going to get better at this game, and he is a prime example. And again, I don't mean this in a mean way to him, but he will just mash through, and I'll just hit him like 3 times in a row because he doesn't counter. But you know, if he hasn't fun, then I don't think it really matters what I think. If you have fun with something, you should just play it, right? It doesn't matter if somebody thinks that it's dumb or stupid. Like, I think Dane Axe is ridiculous, and I don't think you'll get better. But what if you're not worried about getting better, you know? What if you just got home from work and you just want to have fun playing medieval game? Then it doesn't really matter if it's true or not. Ooh, a cool 37 damage. Footman's sprint attack is probably one of the best attacks in the whole game. Because of how long the Footman's sprint attack is and how much damage and pressure you can put on with it, it really is just like it's too much, especially on Pullman where you can do easily like 120 damage to a knight. Yeah, you just do that. I find that people who have fought a lot before try to kill me really hard, and I don't quite understand why. Like people will go out of their, like, explicitly go out of their way to try and kill me. I mean, I guess it makes sense a little bit. Now, unlike the Warclub, the Glaive is my kind of weapon. It has less damage, but I really like playing Footman. I think Footman looks really good. I really like playing Footman, and I really like weapons that are longer. And it gives me an opportunity to help people, and I also like medkits. I think medkits are my favorite ability in this game, mainly because of how versatile they are. There you go. Ow. One disadvantage of having a fast weapon is actually that your counter windows are smaller, which makes it a little bit harder to defend yourself. Trying to actually land a counter can be quite difficult, I find. But it's not too bad. Just got to be a little bit more careful. And when you have a smaller counter window, sometimes the server, because the servers are not very good, will just rob you. And even if you countered right, you'll sometimes lose. Ah, no active fairy. That's all right. We're going to move on to the next weapon. Dagger. Dagger is not a good weapon. One of the few weapons I think that are actually, like, bad. But it has a couple things that are cool about it. What's wrong with this weapon, though? Let's talk about that. This weapon does not cleave on lights or heavies. The heavy part is the problem. You know, blunt weapons, like even the Maul, right? The Maul cleaves on heavy attacks, but not on lights. And that's fine. But not being able to cleave on, like, a heavy slash, that is a huge disadvantage. That's going to limit your ability to fight people in 1vx pretty much at all. And the range is short, and the slash and overhead do pretty bad damage. But what does it do, right? The special attack. Special attack on Dagger is really good. Overall, I think this weapon really struggles. It has its high moments where you stab somebody in the back and you do like 120 damage or some shit. But the high moments are often replaced with the weapon literally not being able to function. And your gameplay is going to vary depending on how well you can avoid that kind of... Alright, that bush is apparently made out of concrete. Can't go through that. Ow. I'm not very good with projectile aiming. And then sometimes you just swing through somebody like that. But, you know, don't worry about that part. That's fine. It's not that this weapon is unplayable. You know, you can play every weapon in this game. It's just that some weapons are going to struggle a lot more than others. And this guy is going to defend this archer with his life. And I'm never going to be able to kill him. And I can't cleave to hit these people at the same time. So this is now the worst fight ever. And I got unlucky. Yeah, unfortunate. Weapons like this and the Cudgel are pretty much miserable.
Out in the church. Assault the church.
Well, shit. I've always liked the idea of this weapon, but really, it's mainly just the not being able to cleave on heavy attacks. If you could cleave on a heavy attack, it'd be fine. It wouldn't be amazing, but it would be decent. Because really, you got to think about those little moments where you're able, like, you would have had the opportunity to hit 2 people and get 2 people off of you, and you just can't. Like, Rapier can cleave on heavy attacks, and it's really good. And then, you know, if you're playing Ambusher to use the Dagger, you can just spam throwing knives and pray you'll hit somebody. Or you can miss 7 times in a row like me. Ah, shit, I threw it. Give me that back. Fuck. Fuck. You know what? That's enough Dagger anyway. Now let's talk about the Shortsword. What is the Shortsword? It is a sword. The thing about the Shortsword, and this applies to a couple weapons in the game, is it is just a sword. Like, it does exactly what it's supposed to. And nothing else. Like, when I say that, it makes this weapon sound like it's bad. But it's not bad. It's one of the best options. It's like Ambusher's best option by far. But it just doesn't do anything, you know? It is just a sword. Aw. It's a solid fine, you know? The best option on Ambusher, but just doesn't do much. It's also the longest weapon that Ambusher has access to. It's basically a normal weapon, and then you have the ability to sometimes backstab for a little extra damage. This guy's getting hit in the back, and he isn't even going to turn around to look. Yeah. Oh, that was weird. My counter didn't come out. It should have. I put it in, but it just didn't happen. Aw. Let's get into a more interesting option. Hatchet. Hatchet on Ambusher is strange. Soder Dave says it's Ambusher's best weapon. I think Soder Dave is crazy. That guy has some bizarre opinions. I like him. He's my friend, but... that guy's got some bizarre opinions. Personally, I think Ambusher is never going to... personally, I think Hatchet's never going to be good, because it's always going to be limited by its... I mean, the range on this thing is laughable. Like, not just bad, laughable. And in a spot like this on Galencourt, there is basically no room to do anything, especially with the spawn bug that spawns Agathons right here. This might be one of the most pathetically short weapons I've ever used in a video game. If you're not sniffing their ass cheeks and tasting their pubic hairs in your mouth, you're not going to be able to fucking hit them. But hey, you know, I guess you can do a lot of damage if that matters. It's like this weapon reminds me of like playing an RPG, and you get like a full damage build to the point where you skimped off on every other useful thing that you need to be good. So your character sucks, but he does do a lot of damage. I mean, you know, 131 to a knight. That's certainly nothing to scoff at. The entire Agathian team is spawned behind me. Yeah, there's just no way to fucking do anything on there's no way to do anything on Ambusher. Ambusher definitely not my kind of class at all. I do not like it. Don't worry, we'll get out of the pathetic tier weapons soon. Now, like I said before, it's really about how you play more than the weapon itself. And up until a point, and I think Hatchet and like some of these Ambusher weapons are the point where no matter how good you are, it's going to just have huge hangups. There are some weapons in this game that are just straight up pathetic, and I think that Hatchet might be that. And now I get to enjoy playing defense on Aberfell, my actual least favorite thing in the whole game. That's alright. Cudgel. Cudgel is the funny weapon. Now see, this weapon, I don't think anybody expects the Cudgel to be good. But it sure is funny. Give him a good old whap. Yeah, this weapon is a joke. But it is not the worst weapon ever. Believe it or not, I think Cudgel might be one of the best weapons for an archer player. Because it's very fast to the point where you can just mash like that. You can actually just mash with this weapon and get away with it. And usually when you're playing archer, you're probably getting attacked by one person, and you're probably you also have like 4 or 5 teammates to help you, because that's just what archers get. Archers are never at a disadvantage. And when you get a weapon that you can just mash with and basically beat almost every option, you really start to get away with it. Like right now, I'm just gonna mash. Oh. Oh, and I missed. But it is funny. And now, let's get into my favorite ambusher weapon, the Katars. I actually do like these things. I used to not, but then I started to figure out how they play. And I realized how much fun these things actually are and how effective they actually can be. A lot of people don't think these things can be effective, but they definitely can. That said, fighting an 8v1 is really not the thing that you should be doing with this. And you really got to get into the rhythm of the Katars. And then the worst thing about the Katars is that sometimes they just don't work. These things have massive hit detection issues, so even if you played it correctly, you might still just get hit and then killed. And really, the idea of not doing anything wrong and still losing is kind of horrible. There are just too many Agathians over here. And archers. It's okay. Archers have no object permanence whatsoever. I'm sorry, what? I got really unlucky there. I tried to do a sprint attack, and it didn't come out. That's a bug that's been in the game for a while. And then I tried to do another thing, and that also didn't work. You know, it happens. So how do you use Katars? Mainly, the thing you want to be doing is attacking a lot. And if the game doesn't literally not work, and you can actually hit the person you're fighting, then it's not too big of a deal. However, right there, I swung through them, I think, twice. And again, you can't do anything about that. If the game says you didn't hit them, and if you try to hit somebody, and the game says no, that you didn't hit them, and then you just don't hit them, then you're stuck in misrecovery, which means you can't defend yourself, and that's like an important part of this weapon more than any other weapon in the game. With this weapon, you have to be hitting people, even if they block it, because if you don't hit them, then you're just gonna get hit and die. Because if you hit somebody, you can actually cancel the rest of whatever you're doing instantly into a block. Oh, I can't get him. Oh, and the archer. It's okay. It's okay. He put away. He put away his bow, which actually let me be able to fight. The game says I have to retreat, so I'm going to use this guy for chase mechanic. And then I'm going to betray him by killing him. I'm really trying to get away from like the 12,000 spawning Agathians. Now, I actually like this weapon a lot more when the servers are working, and that unfortunately isn't now, so it makes this weapon much harder to use. And, yeah, then you get these moments where an archer is just going to shoot me for... Wait, did he die? I think the archer died. Wait, no, he's over there. Yeah, the archer really wanted me to die, which is unfortunate. If an archer picks you to be a target, it's very unlikely they'll pick a different target unless you're out of sight. Yeah, this is a big open field where this guy gets to shoot at me. Yeah, I mean, I have to just go somewhere else. He's got a spawn wave behind him. He's got a perfect sight line with absolutely no cover or flank routes. I have to leave. Which is what archer players say you should do. You ask them, like, what can I do about archers? And they say, oh, bring a shield. Oh, go take the flank route. Yeah, don't worry. I'll just find the flank route. Now, believe it or not, Katars are not that bad at frontline fighting. You can like fight on like a couple people all at the same time, despite having no flinch. But the game has to work, and if the game doesn't work, then you are in trouble. My teammate is making this very difficult. So the idea is you want to hit them and then immediately defend against their hit. And then, you know, not miss. Despite the horrible hit detection issues. Not only does this thing have such a narrow hitbox, but then it also will just miss even if you did hit. Because I think I missed up there, but we try our fucking best. Alright, the archer's there and he has fire arrows. I really don't want to mess with him. I'd like to. Well, actually, I would like to mess with him, but I can't believe that didn't hit. Just another one of those unlucky moments. Alright, that didn't hit either. That's the issue with Katars. Not that their weapons are bad, but that they don't fucking work. All I wish is that this weapon actually worked. Because I do like it. I like Katars. I do. Why? Why can't they work? I hit people and then they don't take damage. And you can do so much damage with these things. I think this weapon has some of the best DPS in the game. Oh, and the archer. Oh, God. Oh, and the spawn wave behind the archer. Oh, and there's another archer behind him. Well. One of my attacks should have hit him, but didn't. Well, luckily for me, I got pretty fortunate with my patience, and that person came to help. Thank you, Taco King. It's a good thing most archers are stupid, otherwise we might have a lot more trouble with them. But a lot of archers are willing to fully just kill themselves because they don't know how to play. Actually, not even that they don't know how to play, it's that they make really bad decisions. God, some of these hits that don't hit are just insane. What the fuck? And before you guys say that this weapon is short, it's really not short. In fact, this stab is actually as long as the Shortsword. It's not that. The hit detection's just broken. Yeah, unfortunate. On this objective, on this map, I'm not going to be able to do that. Now time for my previous favorite weapon, and still my second favorite weapon, Halberd. Now we are on Aberfell defense, so I'll try my best to make something happen. It's very likely we'll just lose, but this is the quintessential my kind of weapon. And it's also a weapon I recommend for beginners. It's very unique in that it's pretty good at teaching you all the tools to be good at this game, while also being one of the most effective weapons in the game. It's not like Dane Axe where the weapon will just carry you. You kind of have to earn it with this weapon. At least well, I got hit by an arrow, hit by a javelin, and then shot by a crossbow all at the exact same time, which is just, I mean, I guess I just got unlucky, I guess. I guess I should have been somewhere else. You know, I should have maybe gone into cover. God damn. I didn't do that attack. You lied. Dude, I'm on your team. I think he figured it out. Halberd really is just so good. Borderline too good. I think I would be fine if this weapon got a very, very slight nerf, but I recommended that in my Polehammer problem video. You are leaving the field of battle. Return or be killed. Get back to the fighting zone in the next 10 seconds or die. But also, don't stop to fight the people that are coming to kill you. That would be deserting. These maps could be a lot better if they didn't have to crutch on desertion zones. I feel like desertion zones and mechanics like it are they are a crutch for bad map design. Like, oh, did you not design your map properly? Well, then you can just tell people that if they stay in here for 20 seconds, they die. And they did a pretty bad job designing the desertion zone system in its entirety anyway. But whatever. I avoided that fire somehow. Ooh, what a sprint attack. And unfortunately, no matter how good I fight here, I'm either going to get killed because I'm trying to avoid an arrow, or I'm going to get killed by an arrow, because there are 4 archers all looking at me. I guess I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Maybe I should have just stuck to cover. I think Aberfell defense might be the worst thing in the game. But maybe if I stand over by the objective, I won't get shot so much. Surely. I'm sorry, what? Oh. Well, I guess I was out of position. I moved forward again. I think the idea of defending is supposed to be that you stand over by the objective and never walk forward and never do anything. My archer blocked my swing that I needed to not get hit. This Dane Axe guy is just slashing, and everything in the world is preventing me from just hitting him. I want to get by that banner. Ow. Well, so far the Halberd is going pretty well. I mean, as it would, right? We've gone from ambushers' garbage bullshit weapons to a weapon that actually kills people when I hit them. Halberd is really nice in that it's fast enough. But it's also, like, super slow also. I say also twice. I think it did. On one hand, it's really slow. On the other hand, I can avoid getting interrupted no matter what I do. All right. I guess my block did not work. And I'd say this a lot. If you're ever having trouble with beating somebody, there's a high chance that you will be able to beat them if you just block and you just stab. And if you think I'm joking, well, allow me. Block, stab. Block, stab. Oh, I got kicked. I got kicked during my wind-up. Stab. Block, stab. And I broke his guard. Block. Block, stab. All right, I've been shot twice. You know, it actually won't save you from archers or throwing knives, but you know, dare I say, anything in the game would lose to throwing knives and arrows. You know, I actually, whenever I play Halberd, I tend to get shot a lot, huh? Maybe it's just coincidence. Maybe I'm cursed. Block, stab. Block, stab. Block, stab. No complicated countering. No need for high-level mix-ups. You can just block and stab, and you will most likely beat most people in this game. Not everybody, you know. Block, stab. Block. I missed. All right, he hit his teammate. Block. Block and stab would actually kill this guy, but I can't seem to fucking hit him. That's okay. All right. Now we've got Polehammer. Polehammer, I just made a whole video on. I really like this weapon, but it's very complicated, and the more the servers degrade, the harder I feel it is to play a weapon that's this complicated. Now, just like the Maul, you can actually do these really nice light to heavy attacks, and they are pretty speedy, and you can kill a knight and footman with one light overhead and one heavy overhead, and it comes out real fucking quick. Polehammer also, unlike Halberd stab being a little bit chunky and slow, Polehammer stab's kind of quick. Well, shit. Well, I think my teammates are trying to get me killed. And then the most potent part of Polehammer is the special attack, which can one-shot archers. Well, incapacitate archers at least. But just like normal, I will now be eating 8 projectiles and then getting killed. Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't really able to do much about that. I ate most of my health in projectile and then 4v1. It happens. Polehammer special attack does 100 base damage, which combined with the blunt modifier, just like the Maul, does a lot of stamina damage. And you know, if it doesn't outright fucking kill somebody. Oh, I tried to do a stab and it just didn't let me. I don't know if the game had a bug. It was probably another bug. Who am I kidding? Who am I kidding? It was probably another bug. Ah, just mash it. I don't know how in the world that happened. I'm sorry, what? Got him. Really unfortunate. I'm not even really sure what happened in that engagement, but got unlucky. I didn't expect him to just run around me like that. Ow. Ah, a friendly arrow hit me. $150 damage for you. Ow, throwing knife. Something that I really haven't been able to show off yet is just how good the stab is on Polehammer when you use it correctly. Now, Blunt weapons cannot cleave on light attacks. You know, you can see that my light attacks are stopping on hit. Well, I mean, that was supposed to hit him, but I guess I got unlucky. On every hit stop weapon in the game, the stab will actually cleave. So if you are astute enough, you could drag the stab and hit 2 people at the same time. Doesn't do a ton of damage, but it's very useful. Oh, that was a really good option from the guy who ran up with a Greatsword. Polehammer is, like I said in the Polehammer video, it's pretty good, but it's not perfect. It's got some issues. It's got some issues. Block and stab. I mean, Polehammer's fine, you know, it's fine. It's not a god tier weapon, but it works. And I think it's fun. But the amount of bullshit that happened this match is case enough that it's not exactly a fully functional weapon when the servers are working like this. There are weapons I would use over others whenever the servers are having problems, because I find them to be more consistent. And a weapon like Polehammer that relies a lot on just barely hitting a lot of people and doing fast attacks with like fully accelerated swings and stuff like that. It's kind of bad when you have to do something in order to have any chance and that thing just doesn't work. Now we're going to use the two-handed spear. Two-handed spear is really not hard to use at all. You just scroll up and the person's probably going to die. Most of the difficulty of this weapon comes from positioning, and it comes from managing your movement and things like that. And then, you know, obviously not missing. One of the lowest skill floors of any weapon in this game, but not as low as the Dane Axe. Dane Axe is definitely easier to use. Like right now, fighting 4 people at the same time, not a good idea. I hit the wall to my side. Luckily, I'm going to scroll up. I'm going to keep scrolling up. Oh, he countered it. Doesn't matter. One of the first weapons to ever get banned in, or not banned, limited in competitive. They really don't want too many spears in a match during Chivalry competitive matches. Now, this is not the scenario you want to use the spear in. But even in this scenario, it's not unusable. It's obviously not optimal to use the weapon in this case, but you can manage. A lot of people don't like using the spear, or don't like fighting the spear. This is the longest weapon in the game. I'm sorry, did I just get super unlucky? Yeah, he was just mashing. Javelin, very potent in melee. I will get to that later. I'll get to that later. Yeah, I think spear is pretty boring. I don't find it engaging. I don't find it interesting. And I would rather just use Halberd or even Glaive over the spear. And it's not that this weapon's not good. It's very good. But I find that, like, when I'm playing a weapon that isn't engaging to me, like this one, I tend to get really lazy I get really lazy. I start just kind of mashing the button. I kind of stop thinking about what I'm doing. I want to be actively, like, thinking about what I'm doing, and weapons like this really don't require that. Also, the animations make it look like a helicopter. Helicopter, helicopter. Oh, I missed it. I think if you had an entire team of spear users in this game, you would... I don't think you would lose. Ah, God damn it. I just healed. I just healed, but I didn't wait. I'm gonna ruin this guy's poor thing he wants to do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Skeeter. Oh, that's a perfect opportunity to switch weapons. Let's get the knife out of the way. The knife is not good, but it's not horrible either. It can do some stuff. That's not to say I like it. I don't. Oh, my team is butchering me. Yeah, I definitely don't like the knife, but it's very fast to the point of being unreactable by some people. It has no range, and the damage is a solid alright. And your counter windows are so pathetic that good luck countering anybody who knows what they're doing. And it doesn't cleave on heavy attacks, so good luck when there's 3 people. And by good luck, I mean you're not doing it. Ow, fuck. Yeah, so if this guy doesn't do a optimal swing, I'm just going to keep attacking him. Yeah, I just did like 6 overheads in a row without even trying to block. Ow! Oh, you're fucking kidding. Well, that's so unfortunate. I swear, archers really do have plot armor. When I'm using weapons like this, I sometimes can't decide if I want to be with a teammate or if I don't want to be with a teammate. Because they really do sometimes just make things worse. Oh, I had it. Oh, my block just did not work. It's okay, because everybody that just came and killed me was too dumb to revive the guy who got knocked down. Oh, this poor guy. That's so sad. He died. Dude, they just have plot armor. Archers really do just have plot armor, huh? Yeah, using the knife in a scenario like this is just not the thing you should be doing. And this is a doomsday scenario, because they can swing over the benches and I cannot. That is so sad. Yeah, the knife is just, it's so pathetic. So we're done using it. How about the axe? The axe is very good, actually. I think the axe is less good, and it's only longer than the Warhammer. But it's very effective, honestly. It's got a certain level of aggression and damage that you don't get with many other weapons. And the only thing that it's bad with is really the range. The range is kind of pathetic on this thing, but not as pathetic as the Warhammer. That hit me? In what universe? Aw. Don't worry, I'll get to the Javelin. I will, unfortunately, get to the Javelin soon. You can two-shot every class except for Knight with heavy attacks. The heavy slash and heavy overhead both do 65 damage, which is really good, actually. The only thing it can't do is two-shot a Knight, but you can two-shot a Knight if you use the special attack in combination with a heavy slash or heavy overhead. Oh, that was unfortunate. Oh, and here comes the entire Agathian team. This guy is really greedy. I can't believe he did a heavy stab with the Waraxe. I have really bad games on Coxwell and on Aberfell, no matter what team I'm on. You'd think that like offense on Coxwell, I would have a good time, but no, I don't. I loathe these two maps. I'd rather play on Tenosia, to be honest. How many times can you say that? Because every fight's either like this, or I'm fighting the entire Agathian team by myself. Makes for bad footage. Well, Dane Axe. Why do you not like Chivalry 2 anymore? Why do you not want to play this game anymore? Oh, gee, I fucking wonder. Fun fact, if you hit an archer that isn't looking at you with a special attack, they won't be able to switch to their melee weapon in time after the special attack to block your next hit. Only if they take out their melee weapon before they get hit will they be able to. Ah, he gambled. He gambled and I dodged. Oh, almost. Now let's show off the one-handed sword. I don't know why I have this skin equipped. It's hideous. I must have been looking at it and forgot to change it back. One-handed sword is one of those, like... Oh, man. Projectiles, huh? Oh. Well. Just gotta hold my shield up, waste all my stamina, and back up, or else I am in danger of being shot. One-handed sword is like the perfect example of a completely normal weapon that doesn't do anything special. There really isn't... Actually, that's not entirely true. The one thing this weapon does special is that it's very long. You really don't see one-handers get this long. And up until the Heavy Cavalry Sabre came out... Well, ow. Well, there goes all my health. Up until the Heavy Cavalry Sabre came out, this was the longest one-hander besides the one-handed spear. Which is, I feel, a different kind of weapon entirely. This thing, if you didn't know, is actually as long as the Longsword. And no, I'm not exaggerating. It has the same reach as the Longsword. It's kind of just a Longsword, but one-handed. It's a little faster and does a little bit less damage. Except you can use a shield with it. But this weapon lacks burst damage. Your highest damage attack is either your special attack for 70 or a heavy overhead for 65. Your heavy stab, I think, does 60, and your heavy slash, I think, does 60. Your normal slash does 40, and your stab does 45. Yeah. So that lack of burst damage is really what's going to make this weapon feel kind of anemic, almost, where you're just not doing enough damage to feel impactful. At least in my opinion. Oh, I didn't even see that guy. He must have jumped over from somewhere. Why is first person? What? Why? Mr. Hey, please, John Chivalry 2. Why do you not play first person? Third person for noob. Play first person. I didn't fucking see that guy, did you? And I can see more of the screen than you can. Now would be a good time to talk about Man-at-Arms as a class to go with the one-handed sword gameplay. Man-at-Arms as a class is very good, like very, very good. One of the best classes, in my opinion, for survival. And in fact, it's my favorite class in the game. The reason why is because Man-at-Arms gets a 10% movement speed bonus with one-handed weapons. And this does apply to sideways and backwards. This archer is going to throw javelins at me over and over again until I'm dead, because they pick one target and stick with it. Yeah, you know what I hate about archers? You can't figure out if they're going to just swing at you and just ignore your attacks, or if they're going to just hold block and waste your time. Overall, this weapon is very good, and on my tier list, I believe I placed it at the top of A tier. Because in these team fight scenarios, I feel it really does a good job. Well, that sure is unfortunate. Well, no arm, no problem, I guess. Don't you run from me. Aw, fuck. I got him. And now, let's check out the Falchion. The Falchion used to be my favorite one-hander in the game. It isn't anymore, but I still really like it. It's also, I feel, it was also the slowest one-hander in the game up until they added the Heavy Cavalry Sabre. Now, a big difference between the Heavy Cavalry Sabre and this weapon is that this weapon does a lot more damage faster. I somehow fucked that up and then didn't hit them. God damn it, just hit the guy. Hold on. I'm making some critical fuck-ups. At some point, I also got shot. Ah, no active parry. What's my connection in this game? 12. 16. Yeah, I really should be hitting more, but maybe it's that everybody else's connection is really bad. This weapon is pretty good, but I feel like it gets overshadowed because of its range. It looks longer, but it really isn't. It's as short as the Shortsword. I just got fucking hit by a teammate like 6 times. 7. I keep just getting hit by teammate. Oh, you know what's also getting me hit a lot? I'm having issues. I thought I felt it like with the last one, but all right, I just swung through that guy. I somehow didn't hit that one. I feel like my block isn't coming up when I push it sometimes. Maybe it's just placebo. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Oh, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe it's placebo, but I felt that my block didn't come up. Now, I prefer to play Man-at-Arms with the Falchion, but Guardian, a lot of Guardian players pick the Falchion as well, because they don't have a one-handed sword. Yeah, after the winter update, they added in a bug where if you queue up a block, it doesn't actually come up anymore. Like right now, if I was to do an attack, and then I hold the block button and I swing again, I was holding the block button that whole time, but it didn't actually come up. It used to be like that, where the block would come up as soon as it was available, but they broke something. It's one of those things I don't think they'll ever fix, unfortunately. I wish they did, but it ain't my choice. And I sure wish it was. Why do you put the shield on your back, is what I hear people asking. It makes you a little bit faster, and when the shield breaks, you get stunned, and then you don't have a shield, and then you probably get hit because your shield broke. By putting it on my back when I don't need it, I don't waste it. And I can move a little faster, which is always nice. Ah, damn. Even if I had killed him, all those guys would have seen me. Ah, Guardian. Banner is the best ability in the game. There is no compromise. There is no comparison. Banner wins. And it's the one reason you'd want to pick Guardian. That was unfortunate. My teammates are not paying attention, or they're all dead. Now, Warclub isn't good in this game, but Warclub does have a very good matchup against most one-handed weapons, especially ones that are shorter like the Falchion. And I know you're looking at the Falchion and you're like, man, what do you mean short? The hitbox on this is the same as the Shortsword. And it is, it makes it kind of tough. Man, that was unfortunate. Yeah, I kind of just got locked down. I got stun into stun into stun. He hit me with the sprint attack. That leaves me without initiative. And then he did a special attack, and I wasn't quick enough, so I had to just block it. And then I got stunned after I blocked it. And then I tried to block as soon as possible so I didn't get hit by the next guy after the stun of the special attack. And then that guy just happened to kick. It looks like we're going to get rolled on Dark Forest defense. This is normal. This is normal behavior. But if we manage to get a foothold on this objective, we can probably win here too. But all it takes is like one push and you already capture the gatehouse. Sorry to save this archer, but I have to. He's on the objective. He's on the objective, and if I don't do the objective, we'll just get rolled. Yeah, I kind of wish the servers were better. Because they used to feel a lot better than they do right now. And I used to do some really crazy stuff in this game, and I just don't feel like I'm able to anymore. And I don't feel like it's because I'm playing different. It feels like the game has just changed mechanically. You know, my counters don't work more often. Some of my hits don't land. And I mean, when you're playing, like, if you're in a 5v1, right? You're fighting 5 people, and you try to hit somebody, and you need to hit that person in order to not die. And then it just doesn't work. Then everything else bubbles down and, like, tumbles, and the opportunity you had is no longer there. And, like, if you have to land that counter to be able to hit 4 people in one swing, and that's going to save you in that engagement, and then it doesn't work, what are you supposed to do? And the answer is you really can't. All you can do is press the right buttons, and it's up to the game to accept the right buttons. And we are not playing a video game where pressing the right buttons is a given. Right there, I blocked, and I got hit anyway. And that was after I think I should have hit that guy. The stab on the Falchion is actually pretty good. It doesn't do a ton of damage, but it does enough damage. Honestly, if this weapon was as long as the one-handed sword or the rapier, I think it would be a lot better. But I think this is the shortest sword in the game. Along with the short sword, because they're the same range. Now, here's why banners are so good. While I'm fighting here, I'm not stopping to heal. Well, I am right now. And as I'm fighting, as I'm like standing by and like healing, I'm still getting health back. Oh, I got hit by a teammate. Oh, that was unfortunate. I really need to get my health back, but I got it. The one-handed spear. The one-handed spear is disgustingly potent. This weapon is gross. It's disgusting. I think this weapon is probably my least favorite melee weapon in the whole game. It's a huge mixture of horribly boring, horribly effective and brain dead to play, and it encourages really toxic gameplay. The special attack on the one-handed spear is quite possibly the most vile thing on the planet. And at the same time, despite how effective and potent this weapon is and how nasty it is, it's also a weapon that really doesn't know what to do if it has to fight two people. Like if you fight a one-on-one, it's okay. If you fight a two-on-one with you being the two, it's very, very nasty. And if you are ever outnumbered, it feels like you can't do anything. It's just one of those weapons. And I loathe those weapons. But what I can do is I can stand next to the cart and stab people who are already busy and never do anything that puts me at risk. Hell, I don't even have to manage my stamina because I've got the shield. All right, right now I'm outnumbered, so I'm just going to, I'm actually just going to leave. I actually don't care. Uh-oh. Yeah, and I got outnumbered. You get outnumbered, and then you lose. Positioning is everything with this weapon. There are a lot of people who like playing one-handed spear and those kinds of weapons, and I get why they would probably like that. You know, it's a very role-play heavy weapon, I feel. It's like, oh yeah, I'm the shield and spear guy. I'm the front line. Hold the line. Raise your shield. You know, I get it. Ow. Well, I guess I got shot twice past my shield. A lot of good the shield fucking did for me, huh? Oh, well, I blocked the third one. That archer over there has decided that I have to die no matter what. I'm now outnumbered. I'm dead. Oh, the archers pick a target and they just do not give up. A 16-second respawn timer. Believe it or not, this weapon would actually do a lot better on offense right now because I would be able to always have a team near me. And because I'm on Dark Forest defense specifically and our team is getting rolled, you know, as is tradition, what's going to happen is I'm just not able to stick with my team, so I'm going to get killed a lot. And then stuff like that's going to happen where I get shot despite my shield. Despite my huge fucking shield, I have been shot. Yeah, there's just too much shit to deal with. This is why the one-handed spear isn't good in some ways. I mean, I think it's very good, but like you really need to have a team to use it. It's not a weapon you use by yourself. But you can just do a lot of special attacks, and the special attack on this thing, like I said, is absolutely vile. You know what? Yeah, just do more special attacks. Now, I know it's gross to teach everybody to use special attacks with the one-handed spear, but, you know, maybe if everybody starts doing it, Torn Banner will actually change it. Probably not. Who am I kidding? Poor guy. Here's a little banner tip for anybody who likes playing Guardian. Don't place the banner in front of... Don't place the banner in front of the cart. It will just break. Ow, fucking Jesus. Oh, I tried to counter. Hi. You mind if I take off, actually? Please stop hitting me. I'm on your team. Oh, please stop hitting me. I'm on your team. Now, if you really want to be gross, and trust me, you'll see more of this, you can do a stab into special attack, into stab, into special attack, and combo that. And it is the most obnoxious thing in the game, except for one thing. There is one more thing that's more obnoxious than that. This is not the scenario you want to use the one-handed spear. That's okay. I'm done using it anyway. So I hear you. I hear you. One-handed spear isn't obnoxious enough for me. How can I be more obnoxious than using the one-handed spear? Luckily for you, I have a little tip. Here's the Javelin. We're going to use the Javelin in melee now. Now, not only can you throw it and make everybody's lives miserable, like so. Like so. See? Now, I hear you. You want to be more obnoxious than the one-handed spear. Well, luckily for you, the Javelin exists, which will let you be the most toxic piece of shit in the game. So what you want to do, and I'm not joking with this, you want to stab, and then special attack. And then you want to stab, and then you want to special attack. And then you're going to special attack, and then you're going to stab. And you're going to do that on loop forever. And then I'm going to special attack, and then I'm going to stab. Stab, special attack, stab, stab. Oh, but I actually got killed by the other archer. It was actually the other archer that got me. So I hear you. Why is this so gross? Why is this so disgusting? So when you stab somebody, they get put into hit stun, like as if you hit them successfully. They get sent into hit stun, and then you can combo that to a special attack, which is way too fast to be reactable or to like interrupt or like. There's really no way they can. All right, I got killed by the other archer. There's really no way that they can stop you from doing that special attack if they got hit by the stab and they took damage. Then, when they get stunned by the special attack, whether they blocked it or not, that gives you initiative to also do another stab. And then, after the stab, you can combo it to another special attack, and you do that. And the only way to get out of that is to make me miss, like by, you know, moving around a lot, or whether a skill issue on my part, or if you block the stab, you can then riposte with your own attack. But you'd have to block the stab. And it's very likely that the person you're fighting won't know exactly how to deal with that, and that means they're going to have to really suffer. And then, you know, most people who are playing Archer and Javelin and stuff they're generally not in too much risk. I mean, I really can't even take this game seriously when I'm playing Javelin melee, or when I'm playing one-handed spear. They're so awful. They're just so awful. And this is like post-nerf Javelin. Because Javelins used to be more disgusting than they are right now. Is that guy's running away from another archer. Now, this isn't how I should be playing the Javelin, but I'm just... Like I said, I get so bored. Oh god, there's 3 archers right there. I'm just gonna... Oh, there's actually another archer over there. It's still that one. I had no stamina to block that. See, I'm just not an archer player. I really want to be up front. I want to play the game, and archers are they're really not playing the game. They really are just playing a different game entirely. Now, if you are for some reason deranged enough to not like playing this game at all, you could enjoy playing. You can enjoy playing Archer, where you can just shoot arrows and have a lovely time not participating. Oh no, I've been taking damage. Now I'm just gonna jab. Oh, wait, my teammate fed him a riposte. Archer is boring, it's not engaging, it's not very fun. But depending on how gross you want to be, you can really just, like, never die. But even right now, I am just way too forward. I shot that guy right past his fucking shield like it didn't even matter. Oh, but the 2 arrows got me. Yeah, it's really boring, to be honest. And it's not very hard. People will tell you how hard playing Archer is, but it's really fucking not. If you're on controller, you get massive aim assist. And if you're on keyboard and mouse, I mean, just aim. In fact, the most danger to me right now is is getting shot by other archers. Luckily, just in case... Actually, this is a really bad point for Archer. Just in case that wasn't easy enough, you can also play Warbow, which is even safer and even easier. Warbow is one of those things in this game that is just like, you're not even really playing the game. You are off somewhere else playing your own game. And everybody else just has to fucking deal with the fact that you exist. The biggest danger to me playing Archer right now is my own desire to actually enjoy playing the game. Because you know the last thing that I want to do as a guy playing this game? Last thing I want to do is sit in the back of the fucking map and just shoot arrows like a dipshit. Very engaging, I know. Oh my fucking god. And then heaven forbid I know how to melee it. This is the unoptimal thing to do. If I was gonna play Archer properly, I would probably sit next to my team the entire match. This is definitely Archer gameplay. Yeah, and then with the Cudgel, you know, you can really just get away with shit. Play like a dumbass. My time has come. And of course, the thing that killed me was that I got hit through my block. God, get me off of that. Ah, but look! Crossbow! Now, Crossbow doesn't take any stamina to aim, so you can just do constant jump shots. Hold on, I'm going to put my banner right here, so it'll heal through the wall. There is no downside to jump shotting. Volume of Fire is the game. Yeah, you just shoot. Yeah, you know, I think that's enough Archer for me for the rest of my life. Damn. Fucking 100 takedowns during that match of all fucking matches. You gotta be kidding. Rapier. My actual favorite weapon. It didn't used to be, but it is now. I think my teammate right now is doing the worst job he could. Man, I love those special attacks. You ain't fucking sneaky. I know you're running behind me. Rapier is, in my opinion, a upgrade over the one-handed sword, provided you have the ability to use it. Now, one-handed sword's a lot easier to use. This weapon has a much higher skill floor, which makes it harder to get into. But once you really start to figure it out, I feel like this weapon does outdo the one-handed sword. Not to say the one-handed sword can't keep up, but I try to look at the potential of a weapon. Ooh, I got hit through one of my... I tried to block, and I think I had another input error. That's what I mean. I have done some insane things with the Rapier, and I've done some insane things with a lot of other weapons that I really like the Falchion and stuff like that. But with the servers how they are, I just don't feel like I can do it anymore. Which is one of the reasons I really want to... Like I said at the beginning of the video, one of the reasons I want to quit playing this game. I'm tired of it. Torn Banner doesn't seem to care. Maybe there'll be a time when I come back to this game after I just stop. But in my opinion, I don't think you guys should play the game either until this game is fixed, because if they're never gonna fix it unless they have the need to. To go back to Rapier, though, the heavy stab does a lot of damage, and it's really fast. The light stab also does good damage, and is also really fast. The alt stab is longer than the normal stab, but the normal stab is much more subdued, and it's much harder to see, which makes it almost like a sucker punch. The slashes are really nice, same with the overheads, but they have hit stop. But they can cleave if you do a heavy attack. And they do pretty good damage. Now, the nice thing is, when weapons are fast enough, and the Rapier is, I think, on the threshold of this, if I do an overhead and then combo it to another overhead, they actually can't jab me in the middle of it. It's too fast with its combo to actually be interrupted sometimes. He was a little bit too slow. That's why I was able to hit him. Now, right there, I did get interrupted, but I'm going to blame the servers for that.
It will not work.
Right there, I can just two-shot a Vanguard with the heavy stabs from Rapier. Like, it does so much damage. And the archer has chosen me as his target. It looks like he's looking away. So I'll just act like he's done trying to kill me. It's actually my best weapon to fight off multiple people in this game with, and I think that's great. Ow! It was actually the second archer back there that got me. And he threw everything he had at me, and now he's defenseless.
Their siege ramps have reached our walls. Maces, clear the walls and protect our siege weapons.
Oh, I got stuck on a rock. Oh, I dodged the wrong way. My bad. What I needed to do there was I needed to turn my camera 90 degrees, so I would have rocketed this way instead, because I think that would have made me avoid the hit, but I kind of just flubbed it. Really, what this weapon excels at is control. You want to control the fights that you're in. Now, right now I'm getting shot at by an archer. There's really not much I can do about that. It's either just gonna happen or it's not gonna happen. Luckily for me, he got greedy. Oh, my parry didn't come up in time. Unfortunate. And now for the heavy cavalry saber. This weapon is, well, it's okay. It's pretty good, but it's a bit complicated to use because of its weird characteristics. It's the longest one-hander, except maybe the one-handed spear. That said, I've been having trouble today. I think my brain is just over this game. Like, what's happening right now? Are we swinging through each other, or am I making mistakes? So, weird thing, this weapon is actually longer at the edges of the attack, rather than the middle. So when you do a slash, like, the middle of your screen is shorter than if you were to try to hit with the very edge of it. I don't know why. Just happens to be like that. This weapon does about the same damage as the one-handed sword, but not the same. It's just about. Does a little bit more on slashes, a little bit less on stabs. I think the overhead's the same. No, the overhead on the one-handed sword does a little bit more damage on the heavy. Wait, no, it doesn't. Yeah, same overhead. Wait, does this? No, it does 45 on a slash. So it's got slightly more damage on the slash. And like the one-handed sword, this weapon has an issue with burst damage. Yeah, this guy, he was mashing. He's what I would describe as a masher. And so what I need to do against him is just block and then do an attack. Just like that. I knew he was gonna jab, so I just blocked it and then punished him. As Soder Dave put it, if somebody jabs and you block that jab with your block, that is a winning scenario for you. You've won that interaction. And that means the attack that you get is... It should be guaranteed stamina damage at least. And most people after a jab don't really know what to do, so they kind of get hit, but not at the higher levels. The stab on this weapon is actually really slow. And it's actually a good thing in some ways, because you can use that for a lot of manipulation. Manipulation being, you know, the way that you can drag an attack as it's happening. You can really make it so you hit around people's parry. There you go. So you'd want to find, like, you want to go to their side and you'd want to start up your stab and then drag it towards their back. I think that should have hit. Go back in slow motion. Oh, and the special attack on this thing is pretty crazy, too.
It will not work.
I countered, but I didn't get any active parry. So heavy cavalry saber is actually better on man-at-arms than it is on Guardian. However, I feel it's also Guardian's best weapon. I think this has the most potential for you to be a really good player. I think it's the best option at higher skill levels. So if you're looking for a weapon to use when you're playing Guardian, this might be the one. I feel that the reason it's so good is because Guardian is the slowest class in the game, especially when mainly when he's got his shield out. And this is the longest option you have, except for the one-handed spear. But the one-handed spear can't really, like, do normal combat. This can. So this gives you an option that plays against your weaknesses and is also really good. It has a lot of high-level options. The only thing it really doesn't have is a lot of damage. And its damage isn't that bad. It's just not, it's not amazing damage, you could say. I'm sorry, did I hit the fucking desk through him? And just like that, my banner has healed me up while I've never stopped fighting. Banners really are the best ability in the whole game. Ooh. Very nice. I also think this weapon's really pretty. I think it looks good. It's got a lot of good skins. Overall, good weapon. A weird mixture of slow wind-up and fast release. Gives it a very unique feel. But oh, where would I be if I didn't play the engineer weapons? Out of the engineer weapons, Sledgehammer is my favorite. It's basically the two-handed hammer and heavy mace. But instead of being pretty fast, it's just really fast. And then it's also shorter. This is actually one of the first weapons I remember getting a zero-death game with. Where I think I went 69-0. Yes, I'm not joking. I didn't even mean to get a zero-death game. It just happened. I just was like, I'm going to use the Sledgehammer. And then I just did, and... Thank you, teammate. You really saved my skin there. Oh, thank you. He's team killing me. Okay, he's doing it on purpose. This weapon is just a solid option. I didn't see it. Unfortunately, my Sledgehammer groove kind of got taken by that guy trying to team kill me. This weapon, while I think it's Engineer's best option, it's definitely not a good option. Engineer weapons all have the characteristic of they really suck to fight multiple people with because they just do not have enough range. I think they're some of the shortest two-handed weapons in the game. And then the pickaxe exists, and the pickaxe is also pretty short for a one-hander. We've also got the throwing axes, which can be used in melee, and they are upwards of one of the worst. But not useless. I think I'd rather use the throwing axes than the hatchet, admittedly. And, you know, you can throw it. Can I have that back? Thanks. Throwing axes are exactly what you would expect from an axe this small. They are exactly what you'd expect. Also, they don't cleave on heavies. And then there's the bear trap, which I have conveniently placed right there. You put the bear trap in a bush, and people won't see it, and then you lure them into the bush when you're fighting, and nonchalantly. And then they take 50 damage and get knocked down, and it's funny. Now, I'm going to use the shovel, but I want to just make a quick note that this shovel in my hands, the one that you pick up on the map that you used with one hand, this one's better. It's actually a better shovel than the shovel that Engineer gets. For starters, it cleaves. And that's a huge advantage. It's also longer. I will just get shot at some point, but I will keep doing my best. Yeah. Oh, and then the shovel. This is a... I have a strange hatred for this weapon. Because, you know, I stream this game a lot. Well, I did stream this game a lot. Might not be streaming this game a lot when you watch this. And there are a lot of times and a lot of people that went, please play the shovel. I love the shovel. It's so funny. Please please, I love the shovel, please. It's got the funny sound when you hit people, please. And it's just, I mean, not funny to me. It's just a shovel. Maybe I'm old and no fun. I think I got team killed by that fire pot. But at least I lived. Did I just swing through his arm? I think I did. This thing has more than no range. And it also has pathetic damage. No, more than no range, pathetic damage. The only thing it really has is it's fast. That's it. The only advantage of it is that it's fast. It is this is, in my opinion, the worst two-handed weapon in the whole game. I would rather use a broom. And I mean that. I would rather use the broom. The slash on this thing does 30 damage, which is abysmal. The overhead and overhead heavy are at least okay. They can do at least okay damage. And the stab, if you can hit it, because I find that it often does not land. If you can hit the stab, it also does pretty alright damage. More than you'd expect. There you go, 82 damage with a heavy stab to a knight. I would say that's with the blunt modifier. It's not actually 82 damage. But the stab is alright. God, no range. No range. And on to the very honest pickaxe. This weapon is the same length as the Warhammer, but it is actually an axe, but it also has hit stop. This weapon is ow. Well, I got owned. This weapon is a pretty good option in most cases for engineer. It has the advantage of you being able to pick up shields, which is a nice little bonus. You can pick that up and have that. That said, this weapon is not amazing. It's just okay. Alright, so those archers want me to not have any fun. So here I am. And I get to just sit here and block, and all of my stamina will evaporate. I got shot again? From where? Well, you know, I guess when I really think about it, it was all my fault that I got shot there. I really should have brought a shield. Fucking, I'm leaving that shit in. I'm letting people see that. That was garbage. Oh, I got just flipped to the side. Oh, good. That archer got killed. Oh, a friendly archer shot me in the back of the head. He was found having committed suicide. 2 arrows to the back of the head. A tragedy that he would take his own life. That archer is going to run away. Yeah. Have I been on defense like the last fucking 6 games or some shit? This weapon, 2 shots, knights and footmen with heavy overheads. Actually, 2 shots every class with heavy overheads. It's, like I said, the pickaxe is just okay. That's all it is. Oh, and another archer. And there goes my band-aid I just used. Oh, and I tried to counter it, but just no luck. It might be best to try another lobby. I'm getting just shot to shit. This is one of those find a different that guy also got shot. Yeah, it's there really isn't too much to say about the pickaxe. It's just okay, you know. Yeah, and fighting this 4v1, and there's also a 2-handed spear when my weapon is this short. And then there's actually now also an archer that I gotta fight too. Yeah, there's nothing I could have done there. Yeah, our team is currently getting rolled. Despite how badly I'm doing because I've been playing engineer weapons the whole time, they are just running a train through us. But now it's time for the longsword, everyone's favorite. Longsword it's kind of like a one-handed weapon, but you use it in 2 hands. Now, I don't really like this weapon, mainly because I don't like playing knights with this weapon. When I pick up a longsword on other classes, like Man-at-Arms or Vanguard, whatever, I tend to enjoy this weapon a lot more. I think knight is a good limiting factor for it, because I really do feel like I'm super slow, and I can't move around a whole lot with this. It's not bad, but... Yeah, just keep swinging. The longsword has a characteristic of its stab being incredibly potent. Not the heavy stab so much, but just the normal stab. Being able to do 55 damage like with a light stab is that's quite something. All right, watch for that ballista. Oh, for fuck's sake. I've been hit by my teammates 4 fucking times, and I haven't even, like, what the fuck? That's okay. This weapon is very good. Believe it or not, one of the things that isn't good about this weapon is actually the range, despite being the longsword. Stop hitting me! All right.
Your meat is on me. I owe you.
Oh, he's still team killing me. I see. This match has gone swimmingly. The overhead on longsword's pretty good. The slash is fine. The stab is really good. Special attack on it, I have a lot of trouble landing it, but I've seen it be used very effectively. It's got a unique special attack animation where you use the Mordhau. Oh god, I said Mordhau and almost threw up. This weapon's not really my speed, but I don't hate playing it. Again, I would rather play this weapon on another class, and I'm glad that another class doesn't have this weapon, despite how much I like to play it on other classes. This weapon I find is a little bit easy to play. Generally, I find that fast weapons are kind of bad for new players because they give new players bad habits. Like Dane Axe, Longsword, those weapons are generally recommended to new players, but I would say that a new player probably shouldn't. What the fuck was that? I would say new players generally shouldn't pick the Longsword and the Dane Axe and stuff like that because it's, well, I mean, they would probably have fun with it. So I guess that's a reason in itself. But if their plan is to actually learn how to play this game and have fun in other ways, then it's bad for learning, is how I'll say it. It's bad for learning because the weapon can just carry you with weapons like this. Ooh, not fast enough for that. I haven't landed a single special attack yet.
I am so sorry.
Little thing, I wish I could turn off the text in the middle. The one that says like, oh, objective. Oh, you took that guy down. I want to turn that shit off. I find it, me as a video creator, I could make a lot more cinematic videos and make the game more immersive if I could turn that off. Ow. Ow. I find it does kind of ruin the immersion for me. Not a huge deal. I'm gone. Yeehaw, longsword time. Ah! Really, I'm going to be honest here. People were saying that they wanted an S-Stock in this game. Now, S-Stocks are cool, but this weapon, the Longsword, already... Honestly, it plays like an S-Stock already. There's really not much the S-Stock would be able to do that this weapon doesn't already do. Hell, it's even got the stabs. It might have a very slightly different, like, damage model. Ow! Yeah, there's an archer that would like me to get shot. And I don't really have many options against that. I can pick up a shield, I guess. As the heir, if you don't want to sit in the back corner the entire match because that's really fucking boring and lame, what you could actually do instead is move forward like this and stand on this like bridge part. And it's actually pretty defensible. It's not like a bad idea. That said, you just need people to watch behind. If they can't sneak up from behind you, then it's pretty effective. If we had a couple engineers that were actually like playing the game, that would be particularly effective. It also gives you a lot more room to retreat in instances like this, where the entire enemy team has arrived. I don't think my team is doing anything, actually. Yeah, my teammates are actually just, like, causing more trouble than they are helping. I think this is a rip. Yeah. No amount of me playing would be able to get through that. Also, I think that guy who was team killing me tried to light me on fire too. So, I mean, you know, I did my best in that mess. Oh, desert. Oh, desert. We're gonna use the Waraxe. I put the Waraxe in the same category as the two-handed hammer This weapon is just so nothing to me. It's an axe. This is the true jack of all trades, master of none. Oh, Dane Axe. Aw, outranged by the messer. It's kind of just a weapon to me. The damage is fine. It's very mid damage. It's got good length. It's not too short, not particularly long either. It has every high level option you would need. It just doesn't stand out in any way, in my opinion. But this is a lot of people's favorite weapon, and I understand why. This weapon doesn't really have too many downsides to exploit. You know, it can be fast, it does good damage, you know, everything I just said about why the weapon is boring is why somebody would like it. I'm a big fan of weapons that have very standout characteristics and have, like, little things about them that are interesting. And this is just an axe that's good. A very balanced, cover-all weapon. You really can't go wrong with it. Well now, this was certainly unexpected. Unfortunate. Yeah, there's just not much to say about the Waraxe, to be honest. Now, the heavy mace, however, this weapon I have a lot to say about. This weapon is one of the few weapons in the game that gets a 10% stamina bonus. When you block an attack with this weapon, you're actually taking less stamina damage than everybody else. In the winter update, it was 20%. Now it's 10%, because 20% was simply too fucking much. This weapon also has a much better stab than the two-handed hammer. Much better stab. And in my opinion, it's also got much better looks. It's longer than the two-handed hammer. It's faster than the two-handed hammer. Does more damage than the two-handed hammer. Overall, it's very satisfying to use, I think. Maybe it's because I like the way it looks better. Maybe it's because the stab is good. You know, I would probably equate it to feeling better because of the stab. I'm a big fan of having all of my attacks be useful. I don't really like it when one of my attacks isn't good. And when the two-handed hammer stab sucks, it means you should almost never use it, except for, like, small little things. When two-handed hammer comes along and has a good stab, it gives me tools. It gives me things I can do. Stabs are generally the best attacks in these games. And that is true here as well. You don't want your stab to suck.
I wish stupidity was painful. You'd have already killed yourself.
I think my biggest issue with blunt weapons in general, though, like this, even this one, my problem is that they all have the same damage. The Sledgehammer, two-handed hammer, heavy mace, and almost the Polehammer all have the same, like, damage model. They do, like, 60 damage heavy slash, 70 damage heavy overhead. And then they have like some variation of stab damage. And 3 of those all use the same animations too, so they just feel like different versions of the same weapon. That said, this weapon is top tier. And really, you can... The reason this weapon's top tier and not just, like, kind of good is mainly because of that stamina buff. The stamina buff goes a long way, and it adds little things. Like, when I block that, you know, I'm just taking less stamina damage. And that means that whenever I get stamina back, it goes a lot farther. It means I can more comfortably just block an attack rather than try to counter it and then make mistakes. I mean, look at my stamina bar. It's like I don't even fucking care. Don't care. And then it just comes back. And, you know, when you do counter an attack, it all just, like, you know, you just get your stamina back that you might have wasted by parrying. Countering is less of a big deal with this thing.
Only have 30 troops left.
He Fortnited me. Oh yeah, the throwing mallet exists too, and it's one of them joke weapons. It's horrible, but interestingly.
By no means.
What the fuck?
It will not work.
What the fuck? Interestingly, the throwing mallet heavy slash does more damage than its heavy overhead. The heavy overhead does 50, and the heavy slash does 55. Now, the throwing mallet's obviously not good, but there's definitely a novelty to it because it's so stupid. I mean, that guy just, like, leaned back and avoided my hit. What the fuck? What's happening? The Warhammer. This weapon is putting all of your eggs into one basket. It does the most insane amount of damage for a blunt weapon that is this fast. And you get to play it in Guardian, and Guardian's pretty good, as we talked about earlier. But it's also incredibly heavy. When you're playing Guardian, you're so slow. And this weapon doesn't have much range at all. Like I said earlier, it has one of the shortest ranges of any one-hander that you would take as a primary. Oh, my bad. I'm getting really sick of my teammates beating the shit out of me today. I say as I beat the shit out of my teammate. Oh man, it's so short. And playing Guardian, like, you're so slow combined with the low range that it really becomes difficult. Hey, you can keep firing. I can't believe I fucking missed. Okay, that one I don't think should have missed. Knight Archer defeated. Watch out for the other Archer, though. Oh, no, the Javelin special attack. I told you! But this thing just does so much fucking damage. But, you know, in the end, I really should have brought my shield to block that arrow. You You know, one big issue with shields is that most of the animation in this game moved the shield out of the way, right? Like, if I had my shield on my side like this, an arrow would block it. But when I swing my weapon, like, it just goes behind me for most of the animation. And that's like on almost every animation. Like, I do this stab, it just goes behind me. The overheads go behind you. It just feels like you're not supposed to keep the shield in front of you, which is ridiculous. Yeah, the damage this thing puts out is kind of nuts. But that's, you know, it's all a trade-off. There was a point when people in competitive scenes in this game thought that the Warhammer was just nuclear. Like, they were like, oh, this weapon's broken. And I was of the opinion that it wasn't broken. Since then, they didn't nerf the Warhammer. I think it's because of the competitive players saying that, but I don't know that for sure. They made the overhead a little bit slower, just a little bit, and they made the slash do a little bit less damage. Rather than make the slash slower. Why do my teammates all just run up like across the map to hit me? Oh, my parry didn't come up. I put this weapon in A tier on my tier list, and it's like... it's pretty good. You just have to play to its strengths and avoid its weaknesses. Aw, unlucky with that. Really, the biggest factor for this weapon being a problem is always going to be the range. The range combined with the movement speed is going to be the downside this weapon always has to face. Because other than that, it's really good. What you can actually do to make it just a little bit more bearable is take off the shield, which is going to let you move a lot faster. That heavy shield weighs you down way more than you would think. Then again, you don't have a shield if you do that, but still worth mentioning. The quarterstaff. Now this weapon, this one's got some stuff going on with it. It gets that 10% stamina bonus I talked about with the heavy mace, which means when you block, you take 10% less stamina damage. But it also takes less stamina damage for, well, I mean, look at my stamina bar. Holding this thing up does not drain your stamina really at all. I think you can hold it up to like 3 or 4 times longer than every other weapon. It's basically just a free shield. In fact, I think they should change shields and give shields this kind of property to make them easier to hold up. So yeah, you can just hold this thing up forever. On top of the stamina bonus. And it's just a very strange weapon. It's got its own animations that are bizarre. Where you stab like underneath like that. In strange ways. The overheads are very like long. And they feel bizarre to use. And the slashes are really fast. But have no range. Yeah, these attacks have no range to them. And the special attack's even weirder, because you can just go, like, cut through your fucking teammates and enemies with it, if the game permits. This is a weapon I admittedly do not have that much time with. It's just bizarre. It's just a bizarre little stick. Oh, but the archer. Oh, but the archer. The archer just does not give a shit. Yeah. Just gotta sit there and just get shot at. Luckily, archers on average are not very good. One thing I think is interesting about the quarterstaff in history is just that it really, like, it was a very effective weapon. Not better than, like, an actual weapon, but it was sort of a weapon that you could use every part of it in dangerous ways. And so you could use different grips with it. You could attack with just any part of it. And I think it was probably a Todd's Workshop video, but I don't know that for sure. He shows like hitting a helmet with a quarterstaff and just like denting the fuck out of it. And it's like, yeah, it's a stick, but it don't give a shit. You know, they did work. I think one weird thing about this weapon is just how different every attack is. The slashes are just so fast. The slashes are so quick. The stabs are weird and long. The overheads are weird and also long. But they're like different speeds and stuff. You know, most of the time when you're using a weapon, they're similar speeds, right? Like the Waraxe. The slash is about the same speed as the overhead and the stab. But this weapon's like fucking zoom, but then you do an overhead and it's like... Do a stab, it's like...
Push forward and continue to lay waste in your wake.
Oh, I had a perfect opportunity to do the, headbutt. I got team killed. I'm alive. Ow. The teammate that team killed me hit me again. All right, well, I guess now's a good time to talk about fists. Fists are not bad. And if you get a headbutt, that's even better. The main problem with fists is just that you can't, like, you can't block. This actually got nerfed in the update that added in Brawl. Ow. Oh, he did that right. Yeah, overall, this is one of the strangest weapons in this game. And a lot of people don't like fighting it because it's so weird and because it's so stamina heavy. A good quarterstaff user, if there are any out there, can really just... They just take forever to die. Oh, my counter didn't work. Oh, that was very good. And finally, we arrive to the Poleaxe. The Poleaxe is the third and last weapon in the game that has the 10% stamina buff. This is significant. I made a whole guide on the Poleaxe, but at the time it did not have the stamina buff. Now that it does, this weapon is actually what I could consider S tier. It's a very good weapon. But it's not the same... Oh, wow, that was awesome. It's not the same kind of really good as, say, you know, like you use Battle Axe and you shred people. You use Greatsword and it's just so versatile. This weapon's different this weapon is good in a different kind of way. It's a very supportive weapon where you really do a lot of work with the special attack and like working with your team It has the speed to 1vx. It has decent enough damage. It doesn't save you from arrows, though. Crossbow bolts will continue to ruin my life. He tried to throw that knife at me, but he's on console. Oh, I fucked up my counter. And the special attack is one of the longest attacks in the whole game. Really, the special attack is the bread and butter of this weapon. And everything else leads into the special attack. And that's what you should be focusing on. The animations are very good. I believe I swung through that guy's arms. I feel like I should have hit that guy twice. You know, the servers still don't work. Who cares? This is a big mess of a game, which leads me to I should talk about it again in more detail. I am going to be moving on to other games soon. There's a this Friday there's a big creator event going on with Chivalry 2 where a lot of content creators are all getting together and we're all having a big event. And then Saturday, I'm playing one last match for my competitive team. I'm playing for Pickaxe, and I'm planning on maybe dropping out of that. I might stick around just to help them so that they can get through the NCL, which is a competitive league. I don't want to leave them hanging. I feel like they've told me I'm a valuable member of the team, etc. But it just, like, I don't know. This game is in such a rough state. A lot of people right now are getting fed up, and everybody just wants to, like, stop playing right now because the servers just don't work. All right. Even Strida. A lot of you guys probably watch Strida as well. Even Strida was telling me, like, he doesn't even want to play until Friday. He just wants to play other games instead. I mean, you know, people are just sick of it. Torn Banner seems to just not care about this game at all, and that's a shame because this game could easily be one of the best games out. But it's like they've abandoned the game already. Now, I can speculate why that is, because Torn Banner actually has over 100 employees. I'm assuming they're making another game right now, and this game's on life support, similar to Team Fortress 2 by Valve, where they're working on other stuff, and so they've been mostly leaving Team Fortress 2 out to dry. But I've heard very recently they might release an update, so that's cool. People are fed up. People want this game to be good. People want this game to work, and more people are just getting... I mean, they're packing it up. They're leaving. And if you were looking to me to be optimistic about this game and assure you that, oh yeah, they'll fix it in the next update, they probably won't. I've been playing this game for 3 years. Since the alpha, the closed alpha. They ain't fixing it. In fact, I think it was Saturday. Yeah, it was Saturday. I streamed and I showed off 2 hours of bugs on the main menu and went over some old footage, some old clips, some things that were a lot of fun. The alpha had better hit detection and better count, like, you know, if I did a counter, it would land. It worked in the alpha. It doesn't work anymore. You know, so I really got the contrast there of being able to see just how far this game has, like, gone downhill. That's not to say the alpha was perfect. The alpha had its own share of issues. It's just, you know, it seems like everything they add into this game or change about this game breaks 2 more things. Now, the slash on Poleaxe, it's by far the weakest attack this weapon has. But that doesn't mean it's, like, horrible. You just don't want to use the, you don't want to use the left to right swing. You want to use the right to left one as much as you can if you have to slash. If you're like point blank, it doesn't really matter which one you do, but you just want to avoid that, instance of the weapon just not working. Alright, this guy's going to throw, yeah, he threw all 7 knives at me. But now he doesn't have a weapon. And then I do the special attack. That pressures him. I missed my jab. Yeah, I like this weapon. I don't like it as much as some of the other ones, but I've always had a favorable outlook on this weapon. As soon as I figured out the special attack was longer. Don't do it. I'm back. When you hit somebody with that special attack, they get stunned. It doesn't do more damage than the heavy overhead, but they get stunned. And that stun lets your teammates also hit them. Because even if they block that special attack, they still get stunned. And because of the stamina bonus, you can more safely just hold parry and block attacks rather than try to counter them. And when you land a special attack on an archer, they're not able to stop you as long as they have their bow out when you hit them. This is the, in my opinion, this is like the team fighting weapon for Knight. The most versatile weapon ever invented. The Pole Axe. Would I consider this weapon versatile? I don't know. I wouldn't say this weapon is more versatile than Greatsword, for example, but I would consider it versatile, like in a vacuum. It can deal with a lot. The plunging attack. The best move in the entire game. Now, if you want my opinion, if you land a special attack, in my opinion, the best follow-up for a special attack is the overhead. Not a heavy overhead. Because that's kind of unsafe, and I have been punished for it before. You land the special attack, and you just do an overhead. Just like that. It gives you a lot of timing variation, because you can look down to speed it up in case they just swing again. And you can slow it down quite a bit, too, to make somebody panic after they get hit with a special attack. Oh, it's this guy again. He's gonna throw all fucking 7 knives at me. Yeah, he just threw all of his knives, and he almost threw his primary weapon because he can't count. Oh, I tried to block, but I got unlucky. Almost. Almost, almost. Oh, but since you've watched to the end of the video, hey, thanks, by the way. Appreciate you watching to the end of the video. I'm gonna show you a little secret. You want to try and aim right at the corner of that wall. You don't want to aim too close because you don't want to bounce off of the wall. But you also don't want to aim too far to the left. Now, what you want to do is you want to charge it just to the tip of the meter. When the meter is full, it actually isn't fully charged. You can see it's not touching the bottom of the catapult. You're going to climb on, and you're going to hit it. You're gonna hit it. And you're going to land right on one of these roofs. And look at that. Easy flank. If you aim it too far to the left, you will overshoot and you will go into the abyss over the wall. If you aim it too far to the right, you will hit the wall, like the castle wall up in front, and you will bounce off into the abyss that way. Just one of those little tricks I know about. Oh, and if you fully charge it, you're going to go over everything and die. Alright, he's just mashing. So, right there, I'll teach you guys a little bit something right there. That guy was just mashing slash. As soon as I realized that, all I had to do was just hit him with an attack and then hit him with another attack. I didn't have to do anything. But he was also mashing slash. And when somebody's mashing slash, that means don't do a slash. You want to do another attack. Ow! Ow! Well, alright. Ow! Well, this has gone horribly. Oh, no. Don't do it. Sometimes I'm just so... I get so fucking unlucky. Also, this is a question for you guys. Anybody who's watched this far and feels like answering my consensus question, I suppose, and you don't have anything else to talk about. Is this map... It feels like this map's really hard to see on. I have the most trouble seeing, like, things on this map. Oh, and the archer. Oh, and the archer. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that archer wants me dead. I'm sorry, did that just go right past my fucking counter? Oh, this poor Guardian player. Holy shit, this is very exciting. Men, bear arms! Fuck, stop. Oh, my counter didn't work. I did put it in right, but... Where did my Poleaxe go? I found it! Oh, I can't fucking see.
I owe you.
Oh no. Oh no, don't do it. Hey, look at that. Chain coifs. It would look really good if my ears weren't sticking out the fucking side, but, you know, don't worry about that. Ow. Man, I shouldn't have done a heavy. Yeah, when I play Poleaxe, I tend to get very, I tend to play a little bit smarter for some reason. I think it's because this weapon doesn't really deal with multiple opponents very well, but it can. But it really just excels when you're playing with teammates. And I feel like I sort of feel that. Because that's the second life in this match that I have gone 30 kills and in one life. It's almost a wicked sick, but not quite. This video is going to end the moment that Argon dies. I think that would be really fucking funny. So just in case, I'm going to say my goodbyes now. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I really hope you guys will stick around for the future of what my channel has in store. Because, let me tell you, it is the biggest nightmare for a content creator to be stuck playing one game forever. It really is. That's like the doomsday scenario. I mean, think about like Jerma, right? Imagine if Jerma got stuck playing Team Fortress 2 forever. And RT game and like all those Team Fortress 2 people. People will like just harp on you and they will go like, oh, why aren't you playing Team Fortress 2 anymore? Why won't you play, I guess in my case, Chiv 2 anymore? You know, it's rough to get out of that. And I hope, pray, plead that you guys give my other stuff a chance. Again, probably gonna play I'm gonna play the content creator thing on Friday. Might do the NCL competitive stuff on Saturdays. But that's generally about it. Unless this game gets a big update that fixes everything, which I think both you and me know that that's probably not gonna happen. You know, I don't think that's gonna happen. Just a reminder, I stream 5 days a week over on my Twitch, sometimes more. I'm gonna play a lot of weird games coming up too. There's this game called Northern Journey. I'm planning on streaming that. Depending on how quickly I get this video edited. I may have already streamed it. We'll find. All right, I got hit through my block. I may have already streamed it. We'll find out. Oh, of all the rotten luck. Didn't I just kill that guy like 1 second ago? I didn't even get my health back because I didn't wait long enough. All right, I got shot. Get up. Now you can see just how well Polehammer handled that situation. Like, those scenarios are really good for Polehammer. Or, well, I wouldn't say really good, but, like, they're capable. Oh, I think he's in trouble. Will he die? He's dead!